Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, hello students. I'm very happy to meet you all in this occasion. Welcome to Second Language Acquisition course with me, Ibu Dr. Nani Ratnawati M. And for some of you, maybe this course is not a new one because we have already talked about this in Foundation of Linguistics. But of course, there are so many things that we are going to discuss in second language acquisition course here. Okay, in this first meeting, I would like to give you an overview about this course. And then the next is an introduction for class discussion about the first topic. Yeah. Well, excuse me, students, let me share with you the slide for the presentation. Yeah. Well, this is the title of our course, yeah, Second Language Acquisition, and this is for semester 5. This one is the book that we are going to use, Principles of Language Learning and Teaching. This is the main book that we are going to use, but of course there are many other books that you can see in the RPS, RPS, yeah. These are some of the books that we are going to use. Douglas Brown, 2019. The title is The Principles of Language Learning and Teaching. And then other books that we are going to use are Rod Ellis, yeah, Second Language Acquisition, Stephen Krashen, yeah, Principles and Practice in Second Language Acquisition, and Nan Jiang, yeah, the second language processing, yeah. And of course, there are some other references that we are going to use. Well, in this first occasion, I would like to share the course description, and this is very important for you to really understand what we are going to study in this subject. Yeah, this course introduces students to the field of language acquisition. The discussion is divided into two parts: first language acquisition and second language acquisition. The discussion of first language acquisition is intended to investigate how children break into language, the emergence of knowledge of language in early infancy, and milestones of the language acquisition process, and the kind of linguistic knowledge children display at given points of development. The discussion of second language is intended to investigate the basic level of knowledge about second language learning phenomena as part of students' general education, the social sciences, and education, to stimulate interest in second language learning and offer practical help to students as second language learners. And because you are not only to become the language learners, but you are also the language teachers. Yeah, so I think all of the knowledge in second language acquisition process should be intended to your understanding about the language teaching and learning. Okay, students, that's why, yeah, I like this book as the the introduction to open up our mind about this subject. Yeah, because we have the core of this is language learning and teaching. Yeah, language learning and teaching, we have to really understand what is meant by language, what is meant by learning, and what is meant by teaching. Because we are in the area of teaching language, especially foreign or second language, so we really have to understand the concepts, yeah, of the language as the object of the study, and then also learning and teaching. We are going to talk about this later. And then besides that, in this semester, we are going to study about school of thought in second language learning, first language acquisition, as in the description that first language acquisition is very important to be understood, yeah, because 100% human being, yeah, given the normal condition, would be successful in the first language acquisition, and the next will be continued with the issues in first language acquisition. It's about the age and acquisition, human learning, styles, and strategies. All of this knowledge should be intended to make us understand more about the language teaching and learning. Well, the next topic is there are many other factors, yeah, which influence the success of language acquisition, especially the second language acquisition, such as personality factors, yeah, socio-cultural factors, cross-linguistic influence and learners' language, and communicative competencies, yeah. Hopefully, all of these topics, which I think are very relevant to language learning, will help us teachers to be able to find the best approaches for language teaching and also apply the appropriate the best teaching methods based on the different conditions that we are facing. Yeah, so in this occasion, we are going to talk a lot about the theories, but of course, we are also going to talk about the practices, the facts about this. So there are, two kind of perspectives from the theoretical perspectives, and then we are going to relate that with the practical ones. Yeah. So when you are practicing your teaching next, yeah, your time, you will have the basic concepts about the process of second language acquisition, and then would hopefully make you do better in your task as language teachers. Okay, students, for the first topic, we are going to talk about the concepts of language learning and teaching. Yeah, in Brown's book, yeah, there are so many, definitions provided from different experts, yeah, about language learning and teaching. So let's take some of them. Yeah, for example, language is systematic. Language is a set of arbitrary symbols. Those symbols are primarily vocal, but also be visuals. Symbols have conventionalized meaning to which they refer. Language is used for communication. Language operates in speech communities or culture. Language is essentially human, although possibly not limited to human. Language is acquired by all people in much the same way. Language and language learning both have universal characteristics. So this is very important, and we will open a discussion in our meeting next. Yeah, so this is an overview first before our meeting. So we are going to talk about this, and I would like you to give the facts about why we call that language is systematic. Yeah, for example, why we call that language is an arbitrary symbol. So you can explain it, yeah, and next when we meet. And then, this is very important, yeah, understanding about the language, because this is the object, yeah, something that we are going to deliver to the students. We are not teaching mathematics or other subjects, but we are teaching the language, and this is the language. We have to be able to introduce to the students the facts about the language as the systematic symbols. So we have to be able to put this into our lessons, and also make the students also able to communicate. But in communication, we are not a part of other things, yeah, like social and cultural factors. Yeah, we cannot just talk, but we have to consider so many things when we are talking. Okay, students, next we are going to talk about learning. What is meant by learning? Some people commit themselves that, well, I've been learning, but what is the indicators that people are doing learning? Yeah, so there are some definitions here that you can also find from the book. Learning is acquisition and or getting. Learning is retention of information or skill. Retention implies storage system, memory, cognitive organization. Learning involves active, conscious focus on and acting upon events outside or inside the organism. Learning is relatively permanent but subject to forgetting. Learning involves some form of practices, perhaps enforced practices. Learning is a change of a behavior. Well, those are some important keys for discussion for the next. Yeah, so when you find someone is performing learning, then whether they are showing the indicators of learning. If, for example, someone is reading a book, and then when after reading, he is asked or he was asked, hey, what have you been learning? And there is nothing here. Yeah, so does it mean learning? Because there is no retention at all of the knowledge of anything, understanding about what he or she is reading. So do we call that this person has been learning something? Yeah, so it's a nice discussion. Yeah, and then you have to be able also to reflect yourself whether, yeah, you have been learning. And this is an important point also. Learning is a change in behavior. Learning is a change in behavior. What does it mean? Yeah. So how can we talk about this in the context of learning language? Yeah. For example, you have been learning language for 3 or more years. Yeah. And then after that, is there any changes of behavior? What kind of behavior is related to language learning? Yeah, which we can call that as verbal behavior. Verbal behavior. Okay. For example, you have been studying a certain subject. Yeah, for example, speaking, yeah, in the first class, yeah, you are just able to speak one or two sentences, for example, and then you have a very poor pronunciation, and then your idea is very limited, so you don't know what to say, for example. Yeah, but then after one semester, at the end of the semester, you may compare whether you have the changes in your verbal behavior, whether you have improved in your pronunciation, for example, whether you have been able to speak more sentences, yeah, or you are able to explore ideas. Yeah, if the condition is still the same as the first time you start learning, so we can just ask ourselves whether we have been learning or what's going on, yeah, for the whole semester, what happens for the whole semester, so there is no changes. So learning, yeah, needs the proof. Yeah? The proof, yeah, for the language learning is so clear because it should be performed. It could be seen from the performance. Okay, this is very important in the area of teaching. Yeah, understanding a lot about the concept of learning would really help teacher in the teaching task. Yeah, because what is meant by teaching here is guiding and facilitating learning, enabling the learner to learn, setting the conditions for learning. That is the definition of teaching. Now, we are English teachers, or at least the candidate of English teachers for some of you, and some of you may have been teachers, yeah? So whether you have been doing your task as teachers or language teachers especially, yeah, whether we have been guiding, facilitating learning, enabling the learners to learn, setting the condition for learning, yeah. So this is a very good discussion. Next time, I would like you to explore, yeah, understanding how the learners learn, understanding how the learners learn. And well, why it's important? Yeah, because by understanding how the learners learn, so we have the knowledge about the philosophy of education. Yeah, and it gives us knowledge also about teaching style, teaching approaches, teaching methods, and teaching techniques. Because we have different kind of students, we have different kind of situations. So this is very important for us. Yeah, hopefully all of this area of topics here could be discussed. Yeah, and you have to read the book, yeah, and then I will also give some questions in our meeting next time. Okay, students, so we are going to give a more detailed explanation or study on the second language teaching. Yeah, so in second language teaching, so we have to be able to understand the first language acquisition process. Yeah, why? As I mentioned previously, that first language acquisition process is 100% successful, but not in second language acquisition process, because there are still so many complaints from the learners that they feel that they fail to learn, to have the competencies in second language after studying the language for many years. So what's wrong? What's up? Yeah, so understanding the characteristics of language acquisition process would help us have the ideas, yeah, about how the second language acquisition process here. Yeah, so there are so many things actually students to be considered, yeah, about teaching a second language. Yeah, for example, who are the learners, where does the learning take place, when does the learning take place, and also other variables. Why some people are successful and why some people are not successful. And we are trying to find all the variables supporting the success of second language learning. That's why this subject is very important for you to study. Yes, so hopefully for the whole semester you are very motivated to study and make discussion, find the literature related to these topics and discussion, and also we are going to try to make a portrait, yeah, about what is happening, yeah, about the methodology of teaching that the teachers are practicing now. Yeah, so hopefully that this will give you basic knowledge, yeah, concepts about how we conduct our task as language teachers. Well, I think that's all my explanation for this time. So we will meet again in a, in a real meeting, yeah, with the discussion about this topic. Thank you very much for your active participation in my class. See you. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.